Welcome back to another podcast. This is my partner, Cody. I am JB. And today we're going to have a one-on-one podcast to essentially answer all the questions that we have in the community or that some of the questions that we've been asked. And we want to kind of talk about some things that's been essentially on our mind. I mean, am I right here, Cody?
No, you're definitely right. I mean, there's been a lot of things that we witnessed just, talking with so many creators, being a part of the actual community that we think we need to get off today and just, have a real authentic conversation with each other, with the community, with you guys, and talk about it.
Yeah, because today has been a wake up call. And there's always days like this where we come together, we call each other, and we try to figure out how we can solve a problem essentially. But we're not really putting our finger on it because the disconnect in our eyes is that a lot of creators are kind of in their own shell. And we're all trying to create nice work, nice quality work at the same time. But when we think of an idea to profit on the back end, we kind of go in a selfish direction versus let me go find different creators that has this mindset that I can collaborate with and build something with. And it's kind of getting to a point where it's almost overwhelming.
No, that is a very good way to put it because that is a lot of what we're seeing. It's like everybody has great ideas, but a lot of people are afraid of taking action. I was just talking about it with somebody. They're afraid in really investing in themselves and afraid to take that risk that something might not work out when you could just partner with somebody who might have the idea that could actually get you to the next step or actually help you scale your business when all along you're just scared actually partner with that person because I don't know, you may have been hurt in the past or like JB said, you kind of got this selfish mindset where it's me, myself, and I. So I just got one question for you, JB, and this may help the community a little bit. When was the first moment that you realized that you could not grow alone anymore?
The first moment where me personally, and we both gonna go back and forth answering this question. The first moment was day one. The moment when I first grabbed my iPhone and I went out to pop-up shops and started charging $5 per table. I at that moment had to think deep. It was like, okay, someone had to put this event together to get all of these 25 vendors that I could even possibly walk up to ask to spend $5. And somehow, some way, I was the only videographer there. But if I had another videographer there, I would have told them the same play, and I probably would have charged $10 and then broke it down the middle at the end, just to get the production to move faster and just different things like that. Me personally, it's been from the beginning because I understand when it's a team, progress moves faster, success comes faster, and it's kind of hard to just do things on your own. I mean, just think about it. Construction, you don't see one man building one house. You see 25 people almost tag team in one house. And in today's age, you see a house go up in a week.
Nah, you're not wrong about that, man. You can ride by a construction site. That house ain't even got the foundation. The next day, next week, you ride by, they putting the roof
They
on
got
it.
the windows and they on the
They got
paint
the
stage.
windows, they got the
They
roof,
done
the
called
doors.
they done called the electrician and everything.
Yep, yep.
What about you,
So,
Cody?
and that's basically how it really should run. But about me, so I would say almost similar story. Like maybe not necessarily since day one jumping in, but I realized very quickly that I needed a partner. I didn't know that it would need a full scale team of production of what I was trying to do, but at least I knew I needed somebody else by my side that could help see the decisions I was trying to make, help me like, if I needed any help in the field where I didn't know something, maybe they knew something a little better. They've been in the field a little longer. But yeah, I would say, around the first few weeks, first few months, I went out and I found a partnership of somebody that I knew who had been doing this, who I went to school with, and I got a partnership like the first year I started doing this. So I realized very quickly that it wasn't going to be something I could do alone.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's something in the creative industry that people pretend that isn't broken, but really is?
Man, the major thing that really comes to mind, the first thing is just, it's probably going to hear it all the time, but collaboration.
Yeah.
I think people think they're working together, but when it comes down to it, you're really not working together. You may see each other in passing on set. You see different videographers, different photographers, because y'all been booked sometimes by the same agency. I mean, you don't even know it. But at the same time, it's like you just see each other in passing and you wave and you might follow each other on the gram and, like a story here, like a post there. But it's like, I'm talking true collaboration where you like come together on set in person, get on calls like we're doing here, have podcast talks, like the true collaborations coming together.
Yeah. I would say opportunity
Mm,
because a lot of people are lying to themselves and acting like they don't need opportunity.
yep.
when you have a regular conversation with them, or even when you go out to eat with them, you can tell by those body languages that you need more opportunity. And it's okay. I mean, we're not belittling anyone. Sometimes even me and Cody need opportunity. I mean, that's how it's set up. That's how the world moves around, by a opportunity. And when you sit around and say, I don't need opportunity, I got on my own. Okay, there we go back in this selfish
Yep.
cage again. It's like we're trapping ourselves in these tunnel, and we're lying to ourselves to the point where we're almost hurting ourselves. And I don't see why we keep doing it.
And it's even getting to a point where it's so bad that people are making it like it's a negative connotation, like it's a negative thing to say, I need to collaborate, or I need this opportunity, or I need a gig. Like, it's almost like we're back scared to say we work a 9 to 5 just to help pay the bills. It's like, you already own a business. You're out here doing your thing. Nobody's going to look down upon you if you reach out to another man and say, hey, I'd really like to collaborate because I need some gigs. You know, it's a slow season. Maybe you can offer me some opportunities that I ain't got right now. We're not gonna, and nobody should look at you and say, hey, that's dumb. Why would you ask me for opportunities, man? It's me, myself, and I over here. And that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. 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 So let's move on to our next question. I actually have one. I know you got one too. But you want to ask yours first, or you want me to ask mine?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So why do you think some creators hesitate to join communities or platforms?
Ooh, that's a good one. So, I mean, the first thing that I think comes to everybody's mind, of course, is the monetary part of it, money. You know, how much is it? How much does it cost? And if you aren't already established out here and you aren't somebody that's a big name brand, they're already doing all kind of research, trying to figure out who you are, what you do, how you can help them. But I think money is the first thing that really stops them from joining the platform. But then I think it really comes down to also the, like we just talked about a little bit, the selfishness. It's like, that's me putting myself vulnerable out there, saying that I need a community to, and then this is how they're thinking, you know, I need a community to put me on the rise, to put me on the up and give me game. Like,
Yeah.
when that's not it at all. It's not about us saying you need us. We need each other.
That's literally the answer. And another thing I'm seeing is that us creators, we feel like we put in so much effort to grow this platform to get 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, 100,000, 500,000, even a million viewers or followers. And it feels like everyone says, oh no, I deserve this. This is my trophy. You didn't put in that much work as me because I posted every day and all these people know me and stuff, versus getting into different platforms and communities that have more than one creator that is just as good as you with less followers, more followers, or the same amount of followers.
Yep.
And I think people get so stuck in this social media thing. If your platform is not booming, you're not talking about anything. And we've seen it time after time where someone has the least amount of followers and is running circles around a person with all these different followers. Now, granted, we're in a time now where a lot of people are winning with a lot of followers, but
Mhm.
we're forgetting about the people that don't have followers that's making that money. That's crazy right now.
Yep. Yeah, because like we've seen a lot of people, like you, JB just said, who don't have those followers. They're scared or they don't want to post their work for whatever reason or another they have in their head. So it's like them be the people that they're most creative, that really need to have their work shining out there online and out in the public, but they just don't. But they be making moves in the industry silently, and you shouldn't count those people out because them be the move makers. But so my question to you, JB, is essentially, have you ever grown faster because of one connection? So we talked about people giving opportunities. So has somebody ever like gave you opportunity, or you met a connection where it's like that helped you grow faster?
I think we all have. I think we all had that one opportunity that shifted our whole perspective. Well, for me personally, I know everyone probably didn't experience that, but literally, I think last year when I started my podcast package, I had one client that we were so connected with his field, his career, and then my career coming into the same room, and simply him purchasing my service off of, and so I'm gonna take us deeper. At first, I sold him for $1,500 a month for a podcast package. No editing, just record, go home 4 times a month. All he got was the full Switcher podcast with the intro and outro. And then I made a phone call right after I hung up with him. 5 minutes later, I called him and said, oh, by the way, I got a $2,500 package that'll come with 5 reels as well. He said, oh, let's do that too. Boom, threw it on there. So that was an extra $1,000 on top of the bill that he was just openly willing to pay. And that day shifted my mind because not only was the service and the product good, the connection was there. And when it got deeper, we started talking about community, people not collaborating, and just different things like that, to where we actually start working together to put the garage together to build the set for his podcast and all that different stuff. But overall, yes, we all had that one moment where all it takes is one opportunity, the right place, the right time, and the right connect, and your whole perspective can change immediately.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I had, I guess you could say a similar circumstance. Well, when I partnered with my first partnership, that was actually a way that I got out in the community, or at least I was always the one who was kind of shy inside. So I always have a partner that's like not afraid to be outside. And that's one of those partners I had. And like she met somebody in the field that was a true connection that ended up being somebody I worked with for several years and obtained opportunities through that. You never know. Like what I mean by that is when you give opportunities and people come up to you or you go up to people and they're willing to lend a hand out or say, "Hey, give me your number, I'll contact you in a month," or "Hey, give me your number, I want to send you this link to check out." Like don't be afraid to take those opportunities cuz like JB just said, one connection can change your whole life and your whole perspective on how this industry runs and how you can actually build a true career behind this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's missing from most creator communities today? So a community that's already up and running, what do you think is missing?
So I guess this could hold true to a lot, but as far as community goes, I think action is missing. I think a lot of communities like to call themselves a community. They
Right.
like to say that they offer this and they offer this opportunity for their people. And it's like, I'm not saying that all these communities are just scams, but of course, it takes action behind all of this. We can all sit behind a computer and say that we're this and say that we're that. But if we're not getting together, socializing, collaborating, and actually putting action behind the words, then like the word community itself is like kind of pointless in a sense in that scenario
100%.
because there's no community.
100%. 100%. I think there are a lot of independent communities where people call it a community or AKA the famous word, a Patreon, but we have this one creator running it all. What kind of community is this? Like when you look at all different types of nonprofits, how many people are coming together to create one idea? We don't have just that one guy coming in. All right, just the answer. My
Right.
community, buy, sell, move, run, stop, all that different stuff. I think we all do this one independent. You came to me, so you're gonna buy me. Versus
Yep.
you came to me, now you're gonna get access to something big that can actually transform what you already have. And that's one of the things I feel like is missing.
No, you're absolutely right. Just before I move on to my question, I just want to touch on that because that is something else I see. Like you just said, people buy your service or your product and think that that's just access to you, particularly in your skill set and what you can offer. When you're a company and you're a brand, they buy your product or your service. They're essentially buying what you can offer, your mindset, your connections, your partnership. It's more than just I can come and shoot your video and we can run it
Yeah,
up and you can get real views. Like the
right.
views are the views, but if they're not actually bringing a community and people buying your services behind it, then what's the point?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, moving on to the next question, I would say my question would be why do you think that so many creators need to, or they think that they need to give away the whole game, the whole recipe to be known and acknowledged in this industry?
Because we all think that we need to give free content to be known versus give a hint of the content and then get people to lean in for more. And also YouTube. Everybody went around and YouTube University, but whole time beyond that wasn't even absolute. That's not even 100% true. Like people learn from YouTube, but they still had to go out here and do it. And two, YouTube always to this day had a call to action at the end, but I'm not finna let that slide. Like we have, of course, you might find your aperture, ISO, and the shutter speed. Okay, if that's the knowledge that you learn, and you feel like that changed your perspective, whoop de do. But if you
Yep.
have someone that showed you how to do silhouette lighting and all, whoop de do once again. But it's like the true people that are really going deeper, and it's been happening like this, it's been behind a course, film school, or someone you knew personally that actually did the work. It wasn't always YouTube. So it's like I keep hearing that, but YouTube was always for me the hardest place to fully learn. I learned something to gain clarity, but I didn't learn like deep. Like no one went deep on YouTube. Probably some editing, because editing is like the most difficult thing that you can learn. So you can watch a whole YouTube video, but you're gonna keep going back to a YouTube video, watching that same video, trying to learn that same trick until you just absolutely get it and memorize it.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree. I mean, anybody out here who says that they're full YouTube University, that's just cap. I mean, even if it's just you getting in the field and putting the action behind it, like some kind of mentor or something, some kind of course you bought. We've all bought some kind of knowledge, some kind of mentorship. We, like you said, our partner knew a camera a little better than we did, so we asked him some questions. Like, we all can't just say out here we YouTube University it, because that's really not giving credit and leaving credit behind to people who actually helped you. Like, we
Right.
know you've been to little mini courses who people who actually pulled you aside and said, "Hey, let me show you this. Let me show you that." It's like you're not giving
Right.
credit to any of these people.
Yeah, you're gonna just give it to YouTube to some random people that gave you half a video and then say you want to learn more, buy this.
Yep,
And you
exactly.
ignore that and you went to the next video, but you whole time you forgetting that that just happened because
Yep,
you skipped it and you
yep.
didn't buy. Once again, another opportunity you saw, the person educated you, and did you buy that product? Yes or no?
Nope. Because you are scared to invest in yourself, because you think your knowledge of investment is, if I spend this amount of money, I better see this amount of return in this amount of time. And it's like, that is not, yes, that might be the equation of how it works out, but you're setting unrealistic numbers in those timestamps. You're saying that if I invest a little $37, I better start seeing thousands hit my bank account every month. It's like, if you do, especially if you don't put in the action, the time, and the effort to find opportunities to actually collaborate with people and get involved in a community or wherever it is, then you're not going to see the results you think you are.
So, what happens when creators stop sharing knowledge with each other then?
I think when creators stop sharing knowledge, it just is gonna become a wormhole. There we go. It's
Wormhole,
gonna
yeah.
become a wormhole of just people doing the same thing over and over and being selfish. And it's like, what I see it going towards is everybody is essentially just chasing clients, and they're gonna continue chasing these clients who are giving
Yeah.
them either repeat business or new clients who they're able to attain their business and pay bills. It's like, this was done. Owning a business is more than just paying bills and saying you got to, go on a vacation once a year. Like, that's cool. But the whole point of this is to build up a community and not be selfish and say me, myself, and I. And if we stop helping each other learn and stop learning with each other and gatekeeping every single idea, every single concept, we don't want to collaborate in the least, then that's just going to lead to an industry that really I don't see going many places. I mean, you already got Hollywood declining that so bad where, movies aren't being made. The movies that are being made aren't being receptive because they're not really great. It's
Yeah.
just not good.
Yeah. 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 I think if we all stop sharing knowledge, you know what it'll do, Cody? It'll actually bring us back to what's needed. Cause you ever heard the term like you don't appreciate what you got until it's gone?
Till it's gone.
I think it's one of those moments like, okay, but what if we all just stop giving game on social media? The
That's very
smallest piece of
true.
content will look great to us again.
Yep.
Because I think we seen a YouTube video yesterday about watch the images, and basically he said like one of the biggest things that I heard he said was one of the most hottest piece of content right now looks normal because we see so much good content now,
Yep.
and that has hurt us bad. Cause it's like knowing we can't do it too. Like knowing that's something we cannot do or something that's gonna take us hours to do. Oh, that's cool. That's dope. He flying in the air. That what's up, man. That ain't nothing but a mask. But you
Yep.
never done that mask before. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it don't even look cool because we see it so much. We see so many people do it at once because there's so many of us creating that we don't want to join the community. We think the biggest idea is small. And when we see small things, we discredit it to like, oh man, that's tier one.
Yep. No, I
So
totally agree.
yeah. So I think if we stop sharing knowledge, we'll be back. So, and I would say people are not going to stop sharing knowledge because we have people sharing even more knowledge to the point where it's just hurting us worse
Yep.
and worse and worse versus, being in that middle point.
Yeah, I think people forget the phrase that the game is supposed to be sold, not told.
Yeah.
And I reference it back always to the Coca-Cola secret formula. They're not gonna put that on a display in public and say, this is how you make it, here's the measurements. They're gonna get you to buy a Coke every single day of your life, and that's all you're
Yeah.
gonna get.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, they'll just give you a tour and a panda bear and a nice
and a
little
pen.
commercial to come sit down and watch in 4D, 3D, had the chair shaking with your goggles on or your glasses on. They'll give you the whole experience. But at the end, that Coca-Cola, have you ever went to Coca-Cola family and had actual Coca-Cola? Did they have everything? No, they had Coca-Cola.
They have Coca-Cola, but they also have it from all other countries
Yeah, exactly. So they give you a nice experience to try it. But then when you go into that gift shop, you're gonna get you a bottle to purchase
to
at a
purchase.
premium price out of that shop.
Yep,
Yep, you're gonna buy the
exactly.
shirts, you're gonna buy the teddy bears, all that. All right, next question. Let's see what we got.
Let's see. Next question.
What's a moment you felt unsupported as a creator?
Ooh, that's actually a good relevant question because I actually am in that moment.
Wow.
I'm starting to feel very unsupported as a creator. And that's not me crying out to the world saying, please come and support everything I got going on. Everybody's got their own thing and everybody's going to support what they support. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is to all creators and anybody, not just myself. Like, I just feel very unsupported in the moment where it's like everything that I put out, every idea I put out, it doesn't get recepted by people. Nobody shares, likes, comments, or even if they do, it's more so of like criticism, not
Yeah.
necessarily how can I help you be better or communicate or
Yeah.
collaborate. It's always hate. So I would say, yeah, I'm definitely in that time right now. And it just makes me want to go stronger. It doesn't really put me down. It just shows me that I'm built for this. Yeah.
Creators support the creators they want to support. And it's so bad to where it's probably only 5 or 6 of them that they're supporting. They're not going around intentionally finding other creators to support because they know that other creators are almost competing with them unknowingly. And it's true. I mean, we see it all the time. People compete, and y'all know no one's competing back. You know, you're fighting yourself, by the way. So, but
Yep.
anyway, yeah, that I think it's just an ongoing thing of unsupport. I mean,
No, you're absolutely right on that. I think people just they're afraid to collaborate, and a lot of people out here are supporting only 5 or 6 creators.
yeah,
And you'll see them shout those creators out and always talk about those creators. It's like, yeah, those creators are great. We know that they know what they're doing. We know they got their stuff together. And I don't want you to not support those people because they built what they built. But like the whole point of community and actually passing knowledge forward is to help the next guy and figure out where he can go. And like, if you got a smaller creator who's trying to push, whether it be a community, collaboration, reaching out, emailing, DM, like, don't hit that person back on, some evil spirit kind of thing. Just kind of reach back out and see how y'all could collaborate. I mean, that's why they're reaching out. The whole point of all of this, whether it be life or the industry of creativity like we're all in right now, is to communicate and collaborate. And when that stops happening, then I don't think that's any good.
yeah. Let's answer this question, Cody. Who is Creator Collective really for, and why isn't, and who isn't it for?
Okay, so that's easy. So Creator Collective is for anyone from a beginner to a intermediate to a professional videographer, photographer, or creator. We're covering all aspects of media. This is for someone who really wants to be part of a community that can access resources, and not just resources as far as like opportunities, but everything from assets to a marketplace of individuals selling their gear that is reliable because they're paying to be in a community, and we have a system set for that. But overall, this is for any creative in the industry, any kind of director, PA. We need all of that creatives inside of the industry. That's who this is for.
And to tell you why it's for you all is because we want to build that sense of community where the struggling creators are not struggling anymore. To where a thriving creator can help the next man with easy access, and you know what the direct problem is. If this guy's an editor, he clearly need more editing gigs. If this guy's a videographer and he does real estate, he needs more real estate gigs because that's what he likes to do. And we want to bring that clarity and that niche into whatever these people want to attack. We want to go ahead and bring it all together so we all can get that fast result and not take so much time to get results, because we see people do this for 10, 15 years and
Yep.
cry about the smallest opportunity that they got. And sometimes it get taken away by someone that's only been doing it for 2 or 3 years because they
Yep.
did the smallest thing that they didn't. And it took them 10 years to figure out that smallest thing that that person that's been doing it for 2 years did. And we're going to eliminate that. We're going to take away the time. There's no sacrifice. All you have to do is just press the buttons and connect.
And I'll even give you a real testimony of what JB just said, the 10 to 15 year people coming and losing a spot to 2 to 3 year people, because I
Yeah.
actually did a gig and I've only been actually doing prints on site for about 6 to 8 months now. And I
Yeah.
was doing a gig the other day and I had professionals who've been doing this for 10 to 15 years trying to come over to my tent, figure out my workflow and how was I able to print these photos so quick where they had been
Right.
doing this for 10 years and they didn't even know the programs that were out there now. So that's just what we mean by access and opportunity and actually being part of a community.
Okay. Now, who isn't it for?
Okay, who isn't it for? It isn't for, I'll start with this. It isn't for the selfish folks out there who are afraid to collaborate with others, who want to
Yes.
be me, myself, and I,
Right.
who don't have a growth mindset, they have a fixed mindset.
Yep.
This is not for them. They're not going to truly succeed in this because this is a true community. And for whatever reason, they feel like community isn't for them.
Yeah, I agree. It isn't for the person that feels like they will be losing if you join this community. There's no communities where you can join and lose. I haven't seen one. And then my favorite reference is a fraternity. You have thousands of people in a fraternity that charge you almost thousands of dollars to be a part of, to where you may do some community things, get your hands dirty with helping people out in the community and, have a good time. But there is not a big conversion, I'm gonna say, and I might be risking my words saying that, but that's my opinion. We literally have a tool in a community for creators to thrive and to change their current perspectives, because we've seen it, Cody. There are creators all over the place that's struggling bad,
Yep.
like super bad, and we're choosing this artist approach. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to sleep in our cars to become a millionaire anymore, unless you just have to through different circumstances. But you don't have to
Right.
grind that hard anymore, because we have all these different. You got ChatGPT, you got all these AI stuff, you got all these different podcasts, convert those to reels in minutes. You have all these ways to make money instantaneously. Now you might be taking a cheaper cost because you got to get your money up. So you
Right.
might do it for cheaper, but at the end of the day, it's too many tools and resources for you to be struggling that hard.
Yep. And I would just want to say this, like, just because I've heard it a lot from creators, it's not just this time around that I've heard it. I've been hearing it forever from every industry when people say this. Don't say that you don't have money to get an opportunity when the opportunity that's given to you is so that you can make money. That is so backwards. I can't even begin to explain to you how backwards that is. And that's don't just go for a community you join. That goes for anything. If an opportunity presents itself where somebody says, hey, spend this amount of money and I'm going to give you opportunity to make so much more. Of course, there's always scams out there. Look at what you're signing or signing up for. But if it's in your industry and it's what you're going for, hear it out, listen to it. Don't use the excuse that you don't have money to make money, because you can use that until the day that you're dead.
Yeah. And that's the ultimate transition from a business owner and a self-employed person. And we all think we these big, godly entrepreneurs, and we haven't even crossed the cash flow quadrant. Like it's so crazy. Everyone is almost employees of their own business, their own life, and they think that, oh, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, you are, because you have this time freedom. The whole time you really don't. You busting your behind editing all day. You
Yep.
chasing clients like this is a dog that has ran off the leash and went the other way. That's like, you're not crossing over because you're scared. You think a small amount of money. We even had a dude tell us, I'm not paying to be a part of no community to connect with other people. Well, let me tell you this. The difference between a paid platform and a free platform, there are 1,000 people on the free platform, but not all of them are trying to connect. If you put 1,000 people in a paid platform, every single one of those people are trying to connect. So
Yep.
just think about that clearly. When you join stuff and you pay for stuff, people that pay for stuff value stuff more than the people that got it for free, because we all know we don't appreciate nothing that's given to us. So what makes you think that this free platform that you're already using, you already don't have the resource because we're here communicating about it, what do you think is going to change?
Yep, nothing, absolutely nothing. And just like we know, people are unfortunately lazy, and that means that they're looking for a place that they can get everything in one. And that's essentially what Creator Collective does, is it combines everything into one, not only with functionality of payment processing and contract automation, but also with opportunity access. And that's what Creator Collective is here to do, is to bridge the gap between access and community, because collaboration out here is currently dead and we want to revive it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move to our next question. Do you have one?
Yeah, so this is a very good question. Why is access more valuable than equipment?
Oh, okay. Because access, you don't need no equipment. When you have access, you can literally borrow your way to success. Rent,
Yep.
get it for free, however. But we all heard this sentence over and over: relationships is key to excellence. So, and there's been plenty of things. Like me, I only have 2 cameras. Okay. If I tell somebody I want to do a 3-camera setup, you think I'm going to go buy another camera, or I'm going to call someone to help me develop this product? It just don't
Exactly.
make sense to not have access, especially to human access to human beings are probably like one of the powerful things you can get. Okay. Not only the platform, but access to other human beings that had the same capacity to speak English just like you, use two hands, 2 feet, one mouth, and two eyes and two ears. That's the most powerful thing that you're probably gonna find.
Yep. Because when you're joining communities, you're not just buying connection to assets or a marketplace. You're buying connections to this, the mind, the brain, the most
Yep.
valuable thing that you can buy a connection to. And of course, it all depends on who's behind that platform and who's behind that community and running it. You don't want to just, get involved in any community. You don't know who's running it and what their ideas are. But when you see a sweet spot, an opportunity where that community is clearly talking to you and speaking to you and what you do in the industry, and they know, that they could help you out, then yeah, definitely get on board. Okay, so money is what makes us survive every single day. Of course, we all know that, but it's not the end all be all. And of course, we could go on every day chasing clients and trying to get that little bit of money that we get, but we're trying to build for the future, for the end game. And what I see an end game is not chasing money, not trying to just survive, but trying to thrive outside of the community or in the community, sorry, and trying to build it up together. But yeah. So the money, we talked about the money, of course, but next it's just I want to bring back that collaboration feel. Like I've felt it before. Like I've been doing this, and I say this, just filming and being around actual creators and professionally and non-professionally for over 6 years. So like I know what it's like to actually have a collaborative moment, be part of a real team, and actually get a product done. I've been there. So overall, I just hope that if you join Creator Collective, you're able to obviously get the money feel, but also be part and feel like you're back to a team. And it's not just take that weight off of your shoulder. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be a single solo band man. You can come over to a community and have help, reach out, editing, reach out for video, whatever you may need in the community, it's here. One belief about being a creator. I mean, this just hit me instantly because it's something I see all the time and I think I might have just said it, but you don't have to be a solo entrepreneur. You don't have to be a solo creator. In fact, it's not just that you don't have to be, you shouldn't be. This industry, in my opinion, wasn't set up for that. When it's funny when you see a one-man band, you see they got the harmonica, the drums on their side, and they're playing the guitar and stuff. And that's really what you start to look like in the field because you're trying to edit while you're there on set. You're showing the product images to the client saying you like this. You're trying to do it all. And that just becomes detrimental to your health and detrimental to your business. Yep. I've seen it. Yep. Right. Yep. Exactly. There's no need to try to show off like that. And like you just said, you're taking another man's opportunity when it's like he should have that job. Exactly. Yep. You need to move like a team until you have a team. So if someone's listening right now and you feel stuck, I would say, first of all, what are you doing to change that? If you feel like you need more help, are you reaching out to different communities? Are you searching for different platforms that you can be involved with? If you say that you need more hands on deck, same sense. Are you reaching out to people trying to actually collaborate? Or are you doing me, myself, and I? If you know that you don't have the business sense down together and you know you're a good shooter and you're a good artist and you can create like heck, but you don't have the business sense, are you reaching out to people who do? Or are you just sitting back and saying, well, I know I'm a good shooter, so the clients will help me determine my good business? It's like, I tell people all the time, if you don't have a system, you're not going to be able to scale. You don't scale without systems. Systems is what scales you. So whether that system looks like a team, whether that system looks like an actual system where you have a platform, a community that you're part of, whatever it may be, just know that doing this alone, you're only going to get so far.